Welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the fascinating world of sports. Today, we're taking a closer look at a key element of gymnastics that often goes unnoticed: the iconic leotards. These uniforms are not just about style and sparkle, they carry a rich history and a lot of secrets that we bet you didn't know. So, let's jump right in and uncover the hidden world of gymnastics uniforms. 1. The origin of gymnastics uniforms. Gymnastics as a sport has a long and interesting history. The term gymnastics is derived from a Greek word that literally translates to exercising naked. Yes, you heard it right. People in ancient Greece weren't big on sportswear and used to exercise unclothed. It's hard to imagine performing a double backflip or a handstand walk without the support of a leotard, isn't it? Fast forward to the present day, and we have gymnasts like Olivia Dunn and Simone Biles and her team rocking form-fitting leotards on the floor. But the journey to the modern gymnastics uniform was a long one, especially for women in the sport. But back in 1908, baggy leotard dresses were the way to go for women. Frankly, those could hardly be called that since they looked more like casual dresses than anything. 2. Their outfits are compression fitted. They're spandex, and then there are the leotards that the Olympic team wears. These are compression fitted, which is the highest level of tight form-fitting competition outfits. This allows them to focus on their routines without worrying about any part of the leotard slipping or not supporting them. That's incredibly important, since a mishap with the uniform can lead to points taken away. Let's just say Spider-Man's suit has got nothing on the athlete's compression-fitted uniforms. These are basically the highest level of tight, form-fitting outfits. With these, they can focus on their routines without worrying about any part of the leotard slipping away during their performance. 3. Unconventional methods. Butt glue. To be extra careful, just in case the compression uniform doesn't do the trick, gymnasts get a little inventive and resort to other unconventional methods like butt glue. Yep, you heard that right. Apparently, athletes often apply butt glue along the outlines of their leotards to keep them in place. What is this special kind of glue, you ask? It's basically a body adhesive, and it was first used in beauty pageants to keep swimsuits from riding up. Now it's the favorite go-to hack for gymnasts. 4. Athletes also get custom bras and briefs to wear underneath their leotards. These are essential because exposed underwear can result in a deduction at competitions like the Olympics. 5. The cost of Olympic leotards. Hold on to your seats because some serious money goes into each leotard worn during competitions. A female gymnast's Olympic wardrobe can cost up to $12,000, and many of the pieces will never even be seen at the Olympics. Each member of the U.S. women's gymnastics team gets 12 practice leotards, which cost between $60 and $200 each, and 8 competition leotards, which cost between $700 and $1,200 each, depending on how many crystals are used in the design. With only 4 competition days and most members of the team not competing all 4 days, that means that many of the Leos go unseen at the Olympics, although the athletes are welcome to wear them at other competitions later. Given the advancements and inflation, it is presumed that the price of the gymnastics leotards now would be higher than it was during the 2016 Rio Summer Olympics, when Simone Biles and the rest of the American women's gymnastics squad participated. At that time, each uniform, adorned with close to 5,000 Swarovski crystals, retailed for an average of $1,200, according to the New York Times. Not only does each outfit cost about $1,000, but every member of the team is also given several different uniforms for their performance. Since the competition part of gymnastics goes on for 4 days, it only makes sense to have an outfit per day. But the gymnasts carry about 8 different leotards with them altogether. And if you add those up, the total goes up to $12,000. 6. The gymnasts do not pay for their competition wardrobes. USA Gymnastics, the national governing board for the sport of gymnastics in the United States, covers all those costs and more. 7. The designers take 2 years to make them. A lot of craftsmanship and artistry goes into making Olympic leotards. In fact, the creators take more than 2 years to put them together. Several prototypes are made before it is finally sent off to create the final product. They get multiple fittings to get it just right. Throughout the course of crafting these leotards, the gymnasts go through at least 3 fittings. This is about as often as a woman gets fitted and refitted for her wedding gown. Getting these multiple fittings helps them get it just right so that nothing feels off when they're on the main stage. The designers frequently check in with them throughout the years and at competitions leading up to the Olympic Games in order to take new measurements. 8. Big-name manufacturers on gymnast uniforms. Women's gymnastics has become quite popular over the years, more so than men's, some would say. Hence, just like any other sports team, they do have big names backing them up. Under Armour and GK Elite work together to make the uniform for the women's team. Other than these 2 names, other sponsors also outfit the athletes with a bunch of training leotards, as well as warm-ups that they can wear as they make their way towards the Olympic Games. 9. Fans of the sport might not be able to get their hands on the crystal-studded, custom-made leotards, but that doesn't mean they can't get in on the action. Just like baseball fans can buy their favorite player's jersey, you too can buy your very own leotard replicas. Now, of course, they're not the real deal. We doubt any fan, no matter how passionate, would spend $1,000 for a leotard. To keep the prices down, different, more affordable materials are used in replicas, but they are pretty close to the ones gymnasts actually wear during their impressive performances, at least in the way they look. 10. Sleeveless leotards are considered unpolished for competition, but covering your legs is frowned upon. According to McCown, there is no rule against covering your legs, but when it does happen, people always notice and comment on it. Even if that wasn't the case, McCown doesn't believe any of the women on the US team would choose to do it. There's a lot of beauty that can be put into the arm of a leotard that is part of the showmanship when you're moving your arms around and the design is so beautiful, says McCown. But I think it would be a little too much to have the legs covered. And with all the tumbling that they do, I don't think they would ever want that. There are athletes from countries with religious rules about skin exposure that have worn coverings on their legs, but I haven't seen that at the Olympics. I don't think those countries are really that highly involved in the sport at this level. I can't speak with absolute authority on that, but I've been in the industry for a long time, and I know I've seen long legs, but in a random case where everybody talks about it like, oh my gosh, did you see that? 11. The athletes do not get to pick their own leotards. They offer their opinions at fittings and when testing out prototypes, but coach has the final say. 12. The gymnastics leotard is named after French acrobat Jules Léotard. As well as the leotard being named after him, he also developed the trapeze and so inspired the song The Daring Young Man on the Flying Trapeze by George Laybourne. 13. At the 1948 Olympics, gymnast Sissy Davies' outfit was not a leotard, but instead a garment that looked very similar to a netball dress. 14. It was only in the 1980s that the lycra material that we know and love was starting to be used. 15. The 1990s trend of crushed velvet was seen on many leotards in the 2000s, for example, worn by Team China at the 2000 Sydney Olympic Games. We don't see crushed velvet on many leotards today. Who thinks it should make a comeback? 16. The 2000 Sydney Olympic Games also saw the introduction of more sparkles to leotards, as well as the popular Mystique fabric, which grew rapidly in popularity leading up to the Athens Games in 2004. 17. Printed gymnastics leotards seemed to be the in thing at the 2008 being Olympic Games, as well as an increase in the number of crystals used. Nastia Liukin's leotard had 184 diamantes on it. This may seem tiny compared to the sometimes 1,000s of diamantes we see on leotards today. 18. Who started the leotard trend? Gymnasts and acrobats started the leotard trend in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. As mentioned earlier, Jules Léotard was the first person to wear a leotard while performing acrobatics. However, it was not until the 1920s and 1930s that leotards became more widely used in gymnastics. One of the reasons for the rise in popularity of leotards was the fact that they were more practical than the clothing that had been worn previously. Additionally, as gymnastics became more competitive, judges began to look for clothing that would allow them to better evaluate the gymnast's technique and movements. 19. The history of gymnastics leotards changed significantly with increased exposure of regular gymnastics on TV, the internet, and eventually social media. The changes in the way society communicates have led to the growth of a multi-million-dollar gymnastics leotard industry. 20. What were leotards made of before spandex? Spandex, also known as elastane, was invented in 1959 by chemist Joseph Shivers at DuPont's Benger Laboratory in Waynesboro, Virginia, USA. Synthetic fiber was first introduced to the market under the brand name Lycra in 1962. Before the invention of spandex, leotards were typically made of a combination of cotton, nylon, and other stretchy fabrics. These fabrics provided some degree of flexibility, but they were not as stretchy as spandex, which allowed for a greater range of motion. In the early days of gymnastics, leotards were also made of wool, which provided some warmth in colder climates, but was not as comfortable or flexible as modern fabrics. The history of gymnastics leotards is a fascinating one that spans decades. From their origins in the dance world, to their evolution into the practical and fashionable garments worn by gymnasts today, leotards have played an important role in the development of the sport. While the design of leotards has changed over the years, one thing that has remained constant is their ability to allow gymnasts to move freely and perform at their best. Whether adorned with sequins and rhinestones or designed for practicality and durability, leotards will likely continue to be a staple of gymnastics for years to come. And that about wraps up our video for today, folks. Which of the secrets about gymnast uniforms surprised you the most? Did we miss out on any hidden facts about the iconic leotard? Let us know in the comments section down below. If you like this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. See you in the next one.